for extreme hair growth. Apply this twice a week. This natural remedy can work on many different types of hair loss problems, whether it's autoimmune, nutritional, or even an overgrowth of some type of fungus or pathogen. And you're going to be using the juice of an onion. I'm going to show you how to supercharge that recipe to take it to the next level. If you're skeptical, you should be, because there's so many things out there that really don't work. People want to know about, is my hair going to smell like an onion? You're going to actually wash your hair twice after you apply this. There's not going to be any smell of onion. What is so special about an onion that can help your hair? It's loaded with sulfur. The sulfur is not necessarily related to hair loss, but it is related to the raw material that can help build the main protein in hair, which is called keratin. This keratin is sulfur-based. Onions have the highest amount of quercetin. Quercetin is going to help your hair. One of the biggest things that quercetin does is it helps suppress this autoimmune attack T-cell situation. If your hair loss is alopecia, where you have these patches of hair coming out, it can help you. On top of everything, quercetin helps increase the growth hormones of the hair follicle, which is right at the root of the hair itself. And on top of all of that, quercetin is a powerful antimicrobial, protecting your scalp against overgrowth of yeast, fungus, mold. And if you also have dandruff or some other problems going on the scalp, that can help you as well. Let me simply tell you how to do it, and then I'm going to get into a few little tweaks to this recipe to take it to the next level. This whole recipe is based on an organic red onion, because red has the most quercetin. Take one onion, chop it into small pieces, put it into the blender, and blend it down. Then you're going to take the blended slurry and put it through a cheesecloth so you can separate out the liquid into a container. Now, it would be good if you had some type of squeeze bottle that you can put it into, but you don't really need that. All you need is a little container, maybe a mason jar. And then the next thing you're going to do when you go into the shower is you're going to get your hair wet, and then you're going to take this liquid and you're going to start to massage it into your hair, the actual roots as well, for a couple minutes. Once you get it massaged into the hair, you will then come out of the shower, dry your body off, and then leave this mixture in your hair for about 30 minutes. But I would personally recommend to leave it in your hair for 1 hour. And you can probably just use a shower cap as well. Then what you're going to do is go back into the shower, rinse it off, shampoo your hair actually twice to remove any odor that you might not like. You're going to just do that twice a week, okay, for about 4 to 6 weeks. Now, as far as hair growth, you should start noticing some hair growth after week 3 or 4. Now, let's take your results to the next level. There's 2 things that you can try. The first one is going to be pretty cool, but the second one's going to be even cooler. It's simply just adding something to the onion juice. You're going to be adding 5 drops of rosemary oil. What is so special about rosemary oil? Well, in a randomized trial in 2015, they compared rosemary oil to one of the top medications for alopecia. And they found rosemary by itself was as effective as this medication. Rosemary oil has several phytonutrients that are anti-inflammatory, are antioxidant, that stimulate the scalp in a way that increases blood flow, and it's great for autoimmune issues. The onion juice by itself has been shown to be pretty effective. So in a study in the Journal of Dermatology, they split this group in half, and half of the group did onion juice on their hair, and the other half just did water. And just within 6 weeks, the group that used the onion juice had an 86.9% result. And when I talk about results, I'm talking about significant hair regrowth, compared to the other group, which just used water, only had a 13% result. Now, there was another study on mice, a group that used the quercetin, and they actually did separate out just the quercetin from the onion, showed regeneration of the hair in all of the treated groups. And in the untreated groups, there was no regrowth of hair. So now let's supercharge this recipe and take it to the next level. You're basically going to enhance the onion juice. Now, how do you do that? You're going to ferment it. You're going to take one onion, you're going to take the peel off, you're going to chop it up, you put it in the blender, strain out the pulp, and then take that slurry and put it into a mason jar. And then you're going to add a 8-ounce cup of water, and then you're going to take a teaspoon of sea salt. Then you're going to add half a teaspoon of raw honey. Mix it up really good. Put a cheesecloth over the mason jar or even a coffee filter. Then you're going to put it on your counter so it can ferment for 72 hours. And you're going to notice within the second day as these little tiny CO2 bubbles, carbon dioxide bubbles popping up. What you're doing is you're enhancing the quercetin. The nutrition that's in there is also going to be enhanced because the microbes are going to actually make more vitamins. So basically, we're taking this antidote to hair loss, onion juice, and we're magnifying it. And also the pH of the onion juice is going to be becoming more acidic to about 5, which is going to be very therapeutic to your scalp. Now, at this point, you want cheesecloth, okay, so you can separate out the liquid and put it in that squeeze bottle and then apply it to your hair just like I've already talked about, which is getting your hair wet and then massaging it into your scalp for a few minutes and then coming out of the shower, waiting for 1 hour with the shower cap if you want. Then you're going to go back in the shower, rinse out your hair very thoroughly, and shampoo your hair twice. And I would recommend doing this twice a week for 6 weeks or even longer, depending on your situation. A couple other key things to note. There's so many different mechanisms involved with vitamin D in hair growth or loss of hair that you should be taking at least 10,000 or 20,000 IUs of vitamin D3 every day, or get a good amount of sun. And the only other thing you need to have attention on is to make sure you're eating the right foods to support the nutrients for your hair. And if you haven't seen this video on that topic, I'll put it up right here. Check it out. Hey, before you leave, I just wanted to give you a little quick history on some of the books that I wrote. This was one of the first books. It's called Dr. Berg Body Shapes. It was my attempt at writing about body types. What was very interesting about this book is I actually did all the images myself. Don't ask me why. They look actually not quite as professional as some of the images that I have in the new book. But anyway, this is my first attempt right here called Dr. Berg's Body Shape Diets. And then I wrote a book more extensive called The 7 Principles of Fat Burning. I don't even have a copy anymore, actually, because it's outdated. The next book, I put about 1,000 hours into this one right here called The New Body Type Guide. Major updates on the body types. I put a lot of energy into this. It has professional images, graphics, all sorts of things. Now, the problem with this book is it doesn't really describe what this is really about. Body types are only a small portion of what's in this book. And that's why I changed the name to the Healthy Keto Plan, okay? If you happen to have this book, you don't really need this book because there's only very, very minor updates. But if you don't have this, you need to get this one right here. This book goes into every single detail that you would ever want to know about. It goes into the 7 principles of fat burning. It goes into hormones, the body types, the basic keto plan. It goes into intermittent fasting. I talk about the 10 fat-burning triggers and blockers and fat-burning strategies with a lot of details in every single chapter. I go into body issues that interfere with losing weight. There's very few people that just have a weight problem. They have a lot of body issues, whether it's sleeping problems, stress problems, inflammation, menopause. I cover that extensively in this book. Then I talk about how to get rid of stress, and I show you a technique. Then I get into exercising. And then I have a lot of really good recipes in this book as well. So this is a good reference guide. On my website, if you get this book, you get this one free. It's called Healthy Keto and Intermittent Fasting. This is the shortcut, quick guide to this book. And the reason I created this book is to have you, within 45 minutes, learn how to do keto, okay, in intermittent fasting, exactly what you need to do. Then you can fill in the blanks with this book right here. So right now I'm doing a special. If you get this book, you get this one totally free, or you can go to Amazon and get these individually. So I just want to clarify the difference between this book and this updated one right here. If you don't have this, you need to get this right here. That way you can get the exact correct information to do it healthily.